Okay, listen, pay attention, Africa. You see, what I'm about to tell you is a linchpin information. Okay, linchpin information. Pay scrupulous attention. I'm going to take you into a roller coaster of history because I'm going to tell you about this Boko Haram funding of a thing. So you will cease to be surprised with what Scott Perry said in the Congress House. Pay attention. You see, Boko Haram on the 13th of November 2013 was officially designated as a terrorist group by United States of America. Let me bring it in a layman understanding. On the 13th of November 2013, Boko Haram was officially declared a terrorist group by the United States of America. When this happened, Nigerians were excited. The whole of African continent were excited. They were like, oh, finally, Boko Haram has been declared a terrorist organization. Oh, United Nations is going to fight them. America is going to fight them. They were all excited. Little did they know that a man only declared what he was funding. Yes. I am not surprised with what Scott Perry said in the Congress House, that his country is responsible for the funding of Boko Haram. I'm not surprised. Why? Because Kwame Nkrumah told me that many years ago. Kwame Nkrumah said that to me. Now you'll be wondering, who is this guy claiming that Kwame Nkrumah said this to him? I talk to Kwame Nkrumah whenever I want to talk to him. Yes, Kwame Nkrumah, I talk to him. I read his book. The authors never die. Authors never die. When you want to hear them speak to you, you read their books. You read their books. That is the privilege of having documented knowledge being documented in a paper. You read. But the problem is that most people do not read. Have you ever asked yourself, why was it that after Kwame Nkrumah was disposed from power on the 24th of February 1966, his books were burnt, and reading his books was prohibited, and it was prohibited from using his books to teach people as a reference study. Why? Because there's something they saw in his book, Neocolonialism. This man wrote a lot of things that will enlighten you to make you see that everything that's happening in Africa is not supposed to surprise you. That man was decades ahead of his mates. Kwame Nkrumah in Neocolonialism was so open to state it. Everything that's happening in Africa today, Kwame Nkrumah predicted it. So I'm not surprised. He already told me all these things. But the thing that you have refused to read, I'm not asking you to purchase these books. I'm asking you to request for these books so it can be given to you free of charge. I am not asking you to pay, free of charge. Have books and read and understand these things that is happening today in Africa, so you'll not be surprised. So you really think that an African country can fund a terrorist organization? No African country can fund a terrorist group. Do you know what it means to fund a terrorist group? You think it's all about fund? It's about power, and not just power, political power, and not just political power, a network of political power. Let me take you into a roller coaster of history so you can understand from where we are coming from. You see, when African countries began to regain independence, remember, we did not gain independence from the colonial masters. We regained because we were free before they came and took the independence away. So we regained our independence. They were pushed away from Africa and they were not happy. Kwame Nkrumah told other leaders they will come back. Let us unite. Let us not get used to the trappings of power. Let us not get used to our little sovereignties. No, let us unite. They said no. The colonial masters planted this scorn in their mind and made them settle for lesser sovereignties and legitimacy. So when they ended up landlocking us in that little artificial boundary, they were able to come and dealt with us individually. First, they went to Congo and they dealt with our brother, Patrice Lumumba. January 1961, they assassinated him in Congo and brought in their puppet, Mobutu Sisoko Kuku Bendu and Zambanga, and he was there from 1965 to 1997. After they were done, they went to Togo, took out Sylvanus Olympio in 1963, put in their puppets. When they were done, they went to Central African Republic, removed Abraham Limbrau, and brought in their puppet, Jean Bede Bukasa, and that was France doing that. What did Jean Bede Bukasa achieve? This was a man who massacred school children, who protested against the law that mandated that they must buy school uniform from a company that was owned by his wife. And then in September 1979, they removed him because he became power drunk, because he proclaimed himself to be an emperor of Central African Republic. When they were done, where did they go? When they were gone, they went to Mali. They went to Mali, took out Mobutu Kaite, and brought in their man, Traore. That was in 1968. Destabilization upon destabilization. Planting coup d'etat. When they were done with that in Mali, where did they go to? They went to Ghana, removed our brother, Kwame Nkrumah. Removed him, disposed him of power because he was enlightening African people. Because on the eve of Ghanaia's independence on the 6th of March 1957, Kwame Nkrumah said loud and clear, our independence as Ghanaians means nothing until the entire African continent is free, because we cannot fight neocolonialism and imperialism as a country. We must fight them and fight them as a continent. But nobody listened. Kwame Nkrumah was disposed. People were celebrating, not knowing that they were going into a long time mess. When they were done with him, they came to Burkina Faso. 1987, Thomas Sankara was removed by his own ally, his friend, Kampori. They brought him. Now, all these coup d'etats, they were using our people to do it. Why are they using our people to do it? It boils down to what Malcolm X said. They will use one of us to kill one of us, so they can say it was one of us that killed one of us. They will use one of us to exterminate one of us, so they can say it was one of us that exterminated one of us. It is all game. It is all game. You need to understand that destabilization is a multi-billion industry for these people. Destabilization all over Africa. In the first sight, listen, you always hear me mention gumbo diplomacy. Have you ever checked the dictionary to know the meaning of gumbo diplomacy? Check it. They wanted to use gumbo diplomacy for Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. He refused. They have to remove him. What happened in Nigeria was what happened in Congo in 1961. Patrice Lumumba was like the Goodluck in Nigeria. They brought gumbo diplomacy. He refused. They removed him, brought in Mobutu Sese Seko Mbedi Zambaga. The way they removed Goodluck Jonathan and brought in Buhari, and now painted it that he's going to fight insurgency. How can a man fight what was created to usher him into governance? A lot of things need to be diagnosed for you to understand. Read books written by your predecessors. Kwame Nkrumah wanted to unite Africa. At the end of the day, Africa was divided into different blocks. Casablanca, Moravia Group, and Brazzaville Group. Divided. He never achieved it. Read Neocolonialism written by Kwame Nkrumah. Free of charge, I will give you. Nobody's asking you to pay, free of charge. So I'm not surprised with what Scott Perry said in the Congress House. I'm not surprised. Go through the history. You will see that all the destabilization that is happening in Africa were all orchestrated by these people. First, they came with gumbo diplomacy, and then they planted coup d'etats, removed the leaders who knew what leadership was, and brought in their people. When they saw that things were being evolving, they now started funding terrorist organizations, using it to engineer the gumbo diplomacy and Machiavellian manipulation. I hope you understand. Request for books and read, so you can understand what is happening, so you will not be surprised when all these things comes out to play. Don't you see what happened in Libya? Okay, I have decided every Friday I am going to be doing an open book summary for you. I will choose a book written by a Pan-African and explain for you. The book we'll be doing this Friday is called Ahajimal. That book has not been published. It is written by Dr. SOC Dekocha. I'm going to explain that book on Friday for you in my live video. Make sure you come and join my live Friday evening by 7-8. I'm going to start explaining the book for you so you can understand. Ahajimal and His New Nation is a book that talks about the fictional life of Mama Gaddafi. You need to read it. Request for books, okay? Make sure you follow me on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, because this year is truth always. I love you and I care about you. Request for books. I don't like it when it's only the older demographics, people at the age of 80, 90, 70, 60 are asking for books. What happened to 20 years or 30? Request for books free of charge and get these books. These books are bought with money, but given to you for free. Appreciate it by reading it. I love you and I care about you. I'm Modern Day Time Choir and I love you. Africa must move forward. Okay? What you are seeing is just the beginning. Wisdom Africa is the principal thing. Ha ha.